Because see, you don't think about it and you go overboard, or you think about it and you make a big mess.
Merry Christmas!
Hi everybody, welcome to Creative Pouring. I'm Cheryl. Today I've got my Tea Expert resin mixed up. I've got 2 of my bangles and I've got a hairpiece. Now I saw this on little windows. I didn't realize it had glitter in there. I saw this on little windows the other day. She did the clouds like this, but I'm going to try to make a a hair piece. Make a couple of them. She used her little windows cabochon mold. I'll try to remember to link the video here, but I thought that was amazing. And I have been looking for these kinds of hair bows. I myself have long hair. It's hard to deal with long hair sometimes. Okay. One I'm going to do with 2 colors, and one I'm just going to do with these snowflakes in it. And I'm going to make this one clear, I think. I haven't got that far yet. You know, sometimes you got to decide on the fly. Well, this is my decision on the fly. Okay, let's get these mixed up. I'm not going to do... I went and tested to see. I actually had a little bit of extra stuff left over. So I went ahead and made me a stick that had a little bit of glitter in it. And I'm going to go ahead and do that with this. That's why I'm choosing the blue and the white, because I'm going to make a hairpiece that goes in my hair. I'll make that barrette. Let's get it a little darker. I forget, this stuff it does not get opaque unless you put a lot in there and stir it like crazy. And you got to make sure you stir all the powder up. So it's going to take me a while. So I'm going to mix this, and I'm going to mix the blue. I'm not going to do a lot of blue. I'll probably put a little bit of white in it to lighten it up so that it'll match the color of the stick better. I'm just going to pour some of this white in here. That's much better. Okay, I'll stir these up real good, and I'll be back to you once these are stirred, so you don't have to sit here and be bored watching me do it. I'm putting a little tiny bit of this stuff in it, in the blue. Just a hair. I guess they call it a pinch. Not enough to take over, but enough to make it a little bit sparkly. See, it gives it a little bit of a sparkle. All right, so we're going to take this and we're going to take that off there. Here we go. I'm going to pour it one at a time. I'm going to do kind of a clean pour. I'm going to let that sit for a couple hours. Push this aside. Let that sit for a couple hours, or about 4 hours probably. I'll come back and see if it's ready to demold. Okay. We're going to do this one. I'm just going to put some glitter. I'm going to put some more of that glitter in it. Not a lot. I just like making it glittery. Just give it enough oomph to make it look good. Yeah. All right. Set that aside. I'm just gonna pour this one. Should pour down. Give this a nice little layer. Oops. I always hate pouring bangles because they're always hard to pour. Because see, you don't think about it and you go overboard, or you think about it and you make a big mess. Okay. Trying to push it down into the bottom here, because you really don't want any bubbles in this one, because it will pull your hair when it catches on something. Okay, here we go. I think it'd be easier to use tweezers for this. If you ever use tweezers, make sure you go ahead and clean your tweezers off, because if not, they will stick together and you'll never get them apart. I have a pair like that. I'm not happy with it, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm just jam-packing them in there. I'm going to try to get them down below the top. See, I lifted it up so that I can possibly see underneath it to see if I can jam any more in there. All right, we'll get some more. Let me clean off my tweezers. Oh wait, I'm going to put some in here, just a few. I say a few as I jump a bunch of them in there. Don't forget to clean off your tweezers. I just use a wet wipey. All right, let's go ahead and fill them up the rest of the way. Be gentle. Go slow. And if you get a cup, you can squeeze like I just did this one. It works better. And do a slow stream. Ah. I'm going to do a squidgy widgy, as Steve McDonald would say. Get out my little deal here and poke this, make sure there's no bubbles. I think I see one. I did fill this up quite full. I domed it because I wanted the round edges sort of, yes. You know what I mean? All right, there we go. We'll be back in a few hours to double check it, see if it's ready to demold. If it is, yay. If it's not, well, then we'll play it by ear. Okay. All right, I'm back. You see I've got a mixing cup. I've got my 2 bracelets, and I've got some tape. So what I'm going to do is, it's still, see, it's very bendy. Be careful when you unmold. Don't put your nail in it or anything like that. Just pull it out of there as best you can without making it come out of, you don't want it to be out of shape. You don't want to smush it or anything like that. You want it to be bendy when it comes out of there, because that's the whole point of what I'm doing, because I'm going to be bending it. Okay, that turned out pretty. Look at that. Okay, see how bendy it still is? Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to squeeze it a little bit and find out where you want it, though. And then put it over something that'll be like your head. And I know it's opening up, but that's what the tape, sorry, that's what the tape is for. Okay. You want to squish it a little bit. I want it to be oval. Okay. And then I'm going to put a tape across it the other way, piece of tape the other way, so that it'll hold it up against that, hold it up against it so it'll stay bendy. Yeah, that looks like the shape I want it. There we go. Okay. Let's get the other one out. And I'm going to do the same thing on the back side of this. Just gently pick it out of here. Okay. Like I said, it's still nice and bendy, so. And that's what you want it to be, is nice and bendy. You could wear gloves with this too if you wanted to. Wouldn't keep you, it wouldn't give you all the fingerprints. Now, that looks amazing. Let's see which way I should do it. There we go. That's the way I want it, just like that. See it? Okay. Ah! Okay. Looks good, top to bottom. Now I got to go across it again like I did the other one. Yeah, got a long tape. But I'd rather have a long tape than not long enough. Okay, now I'm going to leave that on there just like that, where this tape is holding it down. See how well this tape is holding it down? Leave it like that for probably at least 24 hours, if not 48. So I will be back with this when it is ready to cure, or when it's solidified. Meanwhile, I'm going to get the, now I put the wand in my curing machine. This one here on the curing machine, so it'll be a little more sturdier. So I didn't want to put those in there, because if I did, it wouldn't bend. See, this doesn't bend as easy. I'm going to clean all that up, but that looks amazing. So that way, when you put it in your hair, it'll go behind your hair like that. And that looks amazing. Okay, but I'm just going to take my deburring tool and go around the edges there like that to get them all nice and clean. And I will be back to you when this is all done and these are all cured, and you can see what I've made. See you soon. All right, I've let it sit for a couple of days. I just wanted to make sure that it was nice and cured. I'm just cutting this off, it's easier. I'll top the tape off this cup later. All right, just gonna peel this off. Make sure you get all the tape off. Okay, and using that tape, I got it a little bit sticky. Just a little bit, see? So I'll clean that with some isopropyl alcohol. All right, I've got those cleaned up. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, on the back side, what I did was I cleaned up the back side here too as well. I used my deburring tool to get all the sharpness off of the back side so it won't get caught in my hair. And I'm going to take some E6000 glue, clear transparent. It's flexible, so it's going to be easier to put on the back of these because it'll hold the hair instead of letting it slide through the hair. This will just kind of grip it. Okay, I've got my E6000 glue. I'm going to put a little bit on each one here. And I'm going to spread it around. I use one of my micro brushes. Just going to spread it so it'll dry in there and it'll hold in my hair. I'm just doing it in the crease area, you know, where you have those two little areas that come up. I know what I'm thinking, not coming out. Okay, I'm going to do the same to this one. Now this is nice and rubbery glue. So this glue will not really, it'll hold the hair, but it won't pull the hair. It's one thing I hate about E6000. It's always coming out like that. It always drips. Make sure that's smooth. This stays rubbery once you put it on. so it'll act as a gripper. All right, we'll let those cure, or dry, I should say. Clean up that mess. There we go. And while that's drying, I'm going to take these two. I want to make sure they're hard. I'm cleaning them with isopropyl alcohol and a baby wipe. So all the oil from my fingers or anything comes off of it. Because I've been touching these to make sure if they're bendy and stuff. And they are a little, see how they're a little bit bendy? I want to cure that. So what you do with that, you take your UV resin and you give them a top coat. And I'm going to coat both sides. So that way they'll be nice and straight. I'll be back when these are cured. All right, I've got those cured up. Turned out real pretty. See the difference in, I can't bend it anymore. So you take it and you scoop your hair and you put it behind you like that. Let me get out my little mannequin. Hang on. Remember I've told you that I have my license for my hairstyling? Well, this is one of my mannequins. I'm just going to pull her hair back. She needs a good brushing. I'll brush it real pretty before the pictures. Okay. What you do is you pull your hair back, put this down on your head, scoop it, and put it through. There you go. That's how you work those. And you just leave it in your hair and see how it's not coming down? It's pretty tight. All right. I'll get some good pictures when I get her hair brushed and do her hair. And I will show you how these look. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me a comment. I really enjoyed this pour. I hope you did too. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, here's my link. And thank you so much again for watching. Until next time, keep creating and keep pouring. Bye for now.